Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're strapping ourselves into the time machine, maybe polishing the silver a bit.
We are. We're taking a, let's say, rigorous look at the hidden rules of American high society etiquette. Think turn of the 20th century.
And our guide for this journey?
The definitive playbook, really.
Hmm.
Excerpts from Emily Post's Etiquette in Society. This isn't just, quaint history. It's a whole system.
A meticulously detailed system. And our mission today isn't just to list weird old rules. We want to get at the why.
Exactly. Why did high society build this incredibly complex code?
Hmm.
And more importantly, what really separated best society, the gentlefolk, from, well, everyone else, especially the newly rich.
That's the nub of it, isn't it? Because the source is quite clear.
Oh, absolutely crystal clear. Best society is explicitly not just about money or fancy ancestors. The book defines the core group as an association of gentlefolk.
Okay, gentlefolk. I appreciate the sentiment, but historically speaking, didn't you usually need a bit of cash to even get in the door? So what were the actual non-money credentials?
Well, the book lists 4 specific things, and they're all about character, really, not cash.
Okay, what are they?
Good form in speech, charm of manner, knowing the social amenities, and then the big one, instinctive consideration for the feelings of others.
Instinctive consideration. So that's the bedrock.
That's the core pillar, yes.
It sounds great philosophically, but then you look at how insanely complicated some of these rules got, and it feels, well, a bit contradictory.
It can seem that way, but the foundation is meant to be moral, not just, mechanical. The source actually draws this line back to ancient ideas,
Like who?
like Confucius, for example. He saw virtue and politeness as sort of inseparable, saying courtesies have to come from the heart.
So the point of all this etiquette wasn't just avoiding awkward moments with the soup spoon. It was about fostering virtue.
That's the argument. And if you trace things back, even really basic habits supposedly have these ethical roots.
Like what? Give me an example.
Okay, take table manners. Just basic table manners. Why did we stop, grabbing all the food?
Because mom said so.
Huh. Well, according to this source, eating together civilly only became possible when people felt sure there was enough food for everyone.
Ah, okay, so early manners were about safety, sufficiency, like agreeing not to fight over resources.
Exactly. A kind of mutual ethical agreement. Don't hoard, don't fight. It keeps the peace.
That makes sense. The source had another great example, too, the greeting one.
Oh, right. Raising your hat.
Yeah. Where does that come from?
It apparently originates from friendly knights lifting their visors,
Mm-hmm.
so they can see each other, recognize friend from foe.
Friend or foe. Pretty important distinction back then.
Life or death, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that simple gesture started as a way to build trust, a basic safeguard for interaction.
I love that. So all this history, all these layers of complexity, they're basically scaffolding for one main idea.
Pretty much. The book frames it like this. The foundation is ethics, the rest, good taste, speaking correctly, being quiet and unassuming. That's the superstructure built on top.
And if you had to boil it all down to one single command,
It would be this. Never do anything that is unpleasant to others. Simple as that.
that feels almost too simple considering the thickness of the book it came from.
But we're told that hundreds of other rules are just elaborations on that one core principle.
How so? Give me an example.
Think about just general public conduct. Never taking more than your fair share, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's space on the road, a seat on a train, or food at a buffet,
Oh.
or the flip side, the book specifically calls out leaving trash behind after a picnic on, quote, public highways, leaving greasy paper and swill.
Ugh. Yeah, that's fundamentally unpleasant.
Exactly. Violates the core rule.
Okay, so if the main rule is don't be unpleasant, this moves us past just following rules blindly. It gets into personal character, which brings us to that key distinction the source makes. Manners versus manner.
Yes, this is absolutely crucial. It's how you tell the difference between someone just imitating the forms and a real gentle person.
So, manners are.
Manners are the trivial bits, the learnable stuff, the choreography,
Yeah.
Which fork, how to bow, easily acquired.
Right. But manner, that's different.
Totally different. Manner is personality. It's the outward sign of your inner character, your attitude towards life. Someone could nail all the manners, technically perfect, but still have a dreadful manner.
And what would that look like? Terrible manner hiding under perfect manners.
Well, the source contrasts the ideal person, never servile, but also never showy or bossy, with someone who, say, dominates the conversation, the voluble talker.
It's a loudmouth. Okay.
Or maybe even worse, the person known for their brilliant, sharp wit.
Wait, sharp wit. Why is that the greatest danger? Isn't being witty good?
Because it often breaks the primary rule. The witty person sees a chance for a zinger, right? But it frequently lands at someone else's expense. It makes people uncomfortable, creates mistrust.
Okay. So even if they use the right fork, their manner is unpleasant, violates the core principle again.
Precisely.
That's a perfect segue. If character shines through in conversation, let's look at the mechanics of just basic social interaction, starting with introductions. Who gets introduced to whom?
Ironclad rule here. A gentleman is always presented to a lady. Always.
Meaning you say his name first.
Yes. Or, if you're asking, you'd ask Mr. Smith if he's met Mrs. Jones. Never ask Mrs. Jones if she's met Mr. Smith.
Got it. Gentleman to lady. And then there are the rules about titles. These really surprised me, especially for ex-politicians.
Oh yeah, this is a fascinating bit of the American Code. We learned that the President of the United States, once he leaves office, he's just Mr.
Just Mr. after being the president, no former president or ex-president.
No, just Mr. in social introductions.
Wow, okay. But then there's the senator rule.
Right. A senator, whether they're still serving or not, is always introduced as senator. That title sticks.
Forever.
Apparently so, according to this.
What does that tell us? Seems like this high society valued, what, long-term legislative status maybe? Something seen as inherent to the person more than temporary executive power?
That seems to be the implied hierarchy, yes. Okay, now, the handshake.
Right. What are the rules?
Gentlemen always shake hands when introduced to each other. Simple enough. But when a gentleman meets a lady, he doesn't know it all.
An entire stranger, as the book says.
Yes. She generally just gives a slight bow. It's up to her whether she wants to offer her hand.
Her discretion. Okay. But then comes the moment where formality kind of goes out the window, the real character test.
Ah, yes. The crucial caveat. If the gentleman does put out his hand,
she can't just ignore it.
It's considered rude if she does. The source gets pretty vivid here. It says, no thoroughbred lady would ever refuse to shake any hand that is honorable, not even the hand of a coal heaver at the risk of her fresh white glove.
Wow. A coal heaver. So when basic human kindness, that simple consideration is offered, the whole class structure sort of collapses.
In that moment, yes. Consideration trumps class protocol.
The ethical command wins.
Exactly. And that spirit needs to carry into conversation too. The ideal chat is equal give and take, not dominated by one person.
And we get that charming technique for drawing out a shy person. Going fishing.
Right. Often the hostess's job, or just a charming talker. You try different topics, like different fishing flies, on the quiet stranger.
See what they bite on.
Pretty much. If you get not much of a nibble on one topic, try another, then another, until they finally rise to the bait. It's active hospitality, finding common ground.
Nice. Okay, let's shift from people to places. The home. What made a house have quality? We already know it wasn't just about being rich.
Right. Distinction didn't need a palace. A small house could show quality through honest, simple design, good taste in the details, like curtains.
Practical things, too.
Oh, yes. Scrubbed steps, polished brass door knockers, and very importantly, prompt service by a neat maid with a quiet, courteous voice.
And the contrast, the sign of vulgarity, even if the house was huge and expensive.
Vulgarity was things like bastard architecture, showy but tasteless design, and service that was just as unrefined. Maybe a butler answering the door in a badly fitting suit, maybe wearing an unseemly mustache.
Okay. The service had to match the house's character. Quiet, impeccable. Speaking of service, the book mentions people feeling awkward about the word servant, but it also defends the term.
Yeah, there was some sensitivity there, but the book points out that even really important people, priests, politicians, are technically servants of the church or the state. The real point is respect, whatever you call them.
Makes sense. All right, let's get to the main event, the formal dinner party. The ultimate test for a hostess, right? Where all the social science comes together.
Absolutely. And we see Mrs. Worldly planning her guest list, and she actually has to exclude people she likes.
Why? Who gets cut?
She can't invite the amusing Bobo Gildings.
Yeah.
Why? Because Lucy Gilding smokes, and she likes to gamble for high stakes.
Ugh. So
Mrs. Worldly knows that other guests, like Mrs. Highbrow and Mrs. Once Were, would be completely horrified by both the smoking and the gambling.
So the hostess's job is to prevent those clashes, prioritize harmony over, maybe, excitement?
Precisely. She has to ensure the evening is pleasant, especially for the most, let's say, sensitive or traditional guests. Congeniality sometimes means excluding dynamic, potentially disruptive people.
The price of predictability and comfort, I guess.
That's the trade-off. So once the guest list is set, seating is everything. Arranging the place cards is like playing a complicated game of solitaire.
And the entrance.
The host leads the way into the dining room with his dinner partner. The hostess and her main partner come absolutely last.
Okay, now for those specific, almost bizarre table rules, like the bread plate.
Yes. The bread and butter plate. Its presence or absence signals formality.
So when don't you use them?
At a formal dinner,
Never.
those little crescent plates, only okay for breakfast, lunch, or supper. For a formal dinner, poof, they vanish.
Completely arbitrary, just a marker of formality.
Seems like it.
But my absolute favorite detail, the one that perfectly sums up the clash between high fashion and basic physics, is the famous napkin tuck.
Oh, the crisis of the accessories. Yes. A lady is seated, probably wearing silk or satin, slippery stuff. She has her fan, her gloves, her napkin, nowhere secure to put them.
And the slightest move.
Sends everything sliding onto the floor. And normally, strict etiquette says just rest things on your lap. But that clearly doesn't work here.
It's impossible. So what's the solution?
An exception. The source says to prevent the slide, the lady must put the napkin corner-wise across your knees and tuck the two side corners under like a lap robe.
Like a little blanket. It's pure self-preservation.
It is. And the book justifies breaking the usual no-tucking rule because it prevents something worse.
Which is?
The undignified image of gentlemen on all fours scrambling under the table after dinner to retrieve dropped fans and gloves. That would be the ultimate ceremony fail.
Huh. So practicality and basic dignity trump rigid formality in that case.
They have to. Etiquette has to bend its own rules to avoid making a duke look like he's hunting for truffles under the table.
That's brilliant. Okay, let's quickly wrap with correspondence and dress code rules.
Correspondence. Simple rule. Never write anything to a man that you'd be ashamed to see printed in the newspaper with your name on it.
Basically assume everything can become public. Good advice even today.
Very. And dress code.
What's the golden rule?
When in doubt, go plainer. Always better to be slightly underdressed than obviously overdressed or ostentatious.
And the tuxedo, that staple of men's evening wear.
It was actually introduced at the Tuxedo Club to be less formal than the really stiff tailcoat. It was the relaxed option back then.
Amazing how things change. Okay, so we've gone from Confucius to napkin tucking techniques. What's the big takeaway for us looking back at all this today?
Well, it really comes back to where we started. All those incredibly minute, sometimes, frankly, irrelevant details, like, the exact angle to leave a visiting card, they're historical curiosities.
But the core idea.
The core idea still holds up. It fundamentally orbits around showing consideration and respect consistently. It's all about the technique of human conduct, as the book puts it.
So the ultimate measure isn't if you know the obscure rules, but how consistently you apply that core principle, your character.
That's exactly it. The true test of a well-bred person, according to Post, is the consistency of their manner. You shouldn't need one set of behaviors for a duke or a cardinal and a completely different set for the delivery guy.
Because, as we heard, the thoroughbred lady wouldn't snub the handshake of the coal heaver.
Precisely. And maybe that's the final thought to leave you with. The manners you use when you think nobody important is watching, those are probably your real manners.
True courtesy has to be universal.
According to the highest authority on the subject, yes, it has to be universal.